Bobby D coming to you from Talamban, Cebu, Philippines. I'm having an awesome day in the Philippines today. I hope you're as well wherever you're from. Hey, today I want to talk to you about things you need to know before choosing a bank in your home country for the Philippines. Things you need to know before choosing a bank in your home country for the Philippines. Yeah. Now, when we talk about the Philippines, you understand this is a country where it is imperative that you have finances. And in order to have finances, you have to have a mechanism whereas you can get your money as needed. Cash is king in the Philippines. Cash is king. However, the credit card, the ATM debit cards are becoming much more popular in the Philippines. So I wanted to talk to you today about a couple of things that you should know when you choose a bank in your home country. First of all, you should make sure that your home country bank is globally affiliated. Like, they need to have a global outreach. In other words, because you're moving to the Philippines or coming to the Philippines, you now take on the identification of a global traveler. You're a world traveler. And so you need to have a bank that's associated with global banking. Okay? Global banking, very important. I have a bank, it's called Chase, JP Morgan Chase. They have global banking services and one of the best banks in the world. And so the reason why you want a bank that has global banking is because you're going to be doing global transactions. You're going to be away from your country, your home country. You're going to be doing global transactions in order to retrieve your finances from USA or whatever country you're from to the Philippines. Okay, so make sure that your bank engages in global banking. Now, global banking could be online banking, it could be mobile banking as well, but make sure that they have those as well. Secondly, before you choose a home bank, make sure a home bank in your country, make sure that you discuss with them or go online to locate the fees associated with withdrawing funds from on your ATM debit card, or if you have a credit card with that company, that bank, you want to make sure that you know the fees associated with credit card purchases and credit card cash withdrawals. Very important, because when you get a credit card cash withdrawal in America, the fees are high. So you can imagine if you're going to do a credit card cash withdrawal in a foreign country, the fees are going to be even higher because of the exchange fees rates. So you want to make sure you investigate that. Now, banks have high fees, so you want to try to shop around and get one of the banks that have the lowest fees. If you have a credit union that you're banking with in your home country right now, chances are they may not have some of the services that you'll need when you do travel to the Philippines and live here on an extensive basis. So I would recommend not having a credit union bank if at all possible. I was in a credit union in the United States called Delta Credit Union. Their card, their ATM card, doesn't even work in a foreign country. So a lot of the credit unions, because of how their charters are fixed, are only for the U.S. Okay, so make sure that you have a bank that is globally centered and focused and engaged in global banking. And I would not recommend credit union unless you have checked to make sure that they have a global way to retrieve funds globally. So in addition to that, you want to make sure that you have a bank that has services that you may engage up when you're in the Philippines. For an example, recently I had a couple of checks that I have a U.S. address, and I also have a Philippine address. I send my mail from the U.S. to one of my relatives' house in the USA. And so they alerted me, hey Dad, my daughter said, Dad, you got a check here. I said, check? I'm like, wow. So I had 2 checks. Then I call them mailbox blessings because they were just surprise checks. One was 500 and the other was, believe it or not, 1 cent. So anyway, she sent the checks to me. I got the checks, so I was about to like, okay, where am I going to I went out to try to cash these checks at my regular bank, which I bank with BPI, and I have a peso account. So I'm asking her to deposit this into my peso account. She said, no, sir, you cannot do that, Sir Dix, because you have a peso account and this is American dollars. So I said, okay, what can I do to get these checks cashed? So I said, well, let's look at some other options. What other options do you have? Can I just cash the checks? Can you just cash these checks for me here? She said, no, sir, we cannot cash these checks because they're U.S. checks. All right. So I went home, tried to figure out. I said I couldn't take advantage of those options because they wouldn't work for me. But I did have the money to do it, $1,000, but I didn't want to tie up my money like that just to open up a banking account to cash a check. So I went home. I said, man, I'm a global traveler. One of my banks has got to do something for me. So I go online. Chase has a awesome service. It's called Quick Deposit. Now with the Quick Deposit, what it does, they allow you to have a mobile banking app on your Android or your iPhone. You download the application. You take pictures of the front and the back of the check, and you upload it to your bank, and then they receive the check and deposit it into your fund. And I did that procedure, and boom, I got an email immediately. As soon as I uploaded the check, we received your checks. So in my case, with Chase, you have to wait about 2 days before they can verify the checks and make sure everything's in the bank. And after that, you just destroy your check. You'll get another email from them in about 2 days saying your checks have been deposited. You can destroy your checks, your paper checks. So it's a great service, and I think a lot of the other banks have them. Chase calls it Quick Deposit, and it's dealt with is you get it through the mobile banking app on your Android or iPhone cell phone. So it's things like that you need to discover and talk over with your branch manager or your banker in your home country where you are before you leave and head to the Philippines. Just wanted to bring some information to you guys about banking in your choosing a good bank in your home country before you come to the Philippines, which would be a bank that has global services. Oh yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video, and it'll have a listing of the top 50 banks in the world. So you can take a look at that list. Maybe your bank's on that list already. Mine's on the list. Mine's in the top 20. I have 2 in the top 20. I have 2 bank accounts right now. Both of them are in the top 20. So just find out if your bank's on that list, then you're going to be good to go as far as global bank. If your bank's not on that list, you probably have a small mom and pop bank. You may want to consider before you're moving to the Philippines, looking at another alternative. All right, in banking. All right, that's for it. That's about it for right now, guys. This is Bobby D saying take care. God bless. Peace.